Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day today. We're talking about Leviticus Chapter 2 today. And can you believe we are already on the book of Leviticus? We started this at the beginning of the year with Genesis Chapter 1, and we are already into our third book. So today we are talking about grain offerings, and I never thought that grain offerings or that subject could be interesting, but I have some interesting facts to share with you. So, grain offerings were prepared and brought to the priest. The priest then would take a portion of the grain offering and burn it on the altar. This offering was a gift of thanks to God. It was actually given in thanks to God. So here's some interesting facts about the grain offerings. So the grain offering accompanied all burnt offerings and was a gift of thanks to God. It reminded the people that their food came from God and that they therefore owed their lives to Him. 3 types of grain offerings were given. The first was with flour, oil, and frankincense. The second, baked cakes or wafers of choice flour and oil. And third, roasted kernels of grain with oil and frankincense. None of these grain offerings had yeast in them. And there is a reason for that. Why was no yeast allowed? Yeast is a fungus and is therefore an appropriate symbol for sin. It grows in bread dough just as sin grows in a life. A little yeast will affect the whole loaf, just as a little sin can ruin a whole life. Jesus expanded this analogy by warning about the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. This was in Matthew 16:6. How do you visualize the effects of sin in your life, and what do you do to eliminate sin from your attitudes and actions? So I thought that was super cool. Another thing is these grain offerings were seasoned with salt. Salt was a reminder of the people's covenant with God. Salt is a good symbol of God's activity in a person's life because it penetrates, preserves, and aids in healing. And I just thought that was super interesting. You know, I've heard a lot of times throughout Bible readings that yeast was not allowed in certain things, but I had never really thought about it in that context before. So some super cool facts today about grain offerings. If you haven't already read this chapter, I encourage you to do so. Thank you for watching today, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.